Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel EasySewing with Tyke. My name is Taiwo. So I'll be showing you how to make this gorgeous one shoulder puff sleeve maxi dress with flounce on the channel today. Now if you're stopping by or seeing this channel for the first time or hearing my voice for the very first time, it's so great to have you here. You will love it here. And to all of my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back, for always engaging on my videos. I appreciate you all. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please click on the subscribe button. Also like this video as you would gain value. Put on the post notification in order not to miss out on anything from this channel. Share, okay? You don't want to enjoy all of this goodness alone. And I would also love to know if you will be recreating this outfit in the comment section. Now let's get started. So the lower part of the style inspiration that we are recreating is an half circle, but because I have limited fabric, I'll be making mine an A-line. So the lower part of my own dress is an A-line, and as you can see, the lowest part of the style we are recreating is fuller than mine. That is because that is an half circle, but mine is an A-line because I'm working with a limited fabric. But I already have a tutorial on this channel where I showed how to make a full and a long A-line skirt. The link to that tutorial video will be showing you on your screen right now at the top left corner or right corner, so you'll see it on your screen, or you can also check my previous videos. So that is the only major difference. The lower part of mine is an A-line and the one in the style inspiration is an half circle. So I folded my fabric into two. I'll be starting out with the front part first, the lower part of the front. So that marked line you can see there represents my true waist, which is the half length. Then I went ahead to measure out the full length of the gown. So that is from the waist downwards. So afterwards, I'm going to measure the hip line. So I like to measure out the hip line when I'm making an A-line dress, even though it is not really necessary, but I prefer to do that so I can know how free it's going to be at the hip area, so I can measure the freeness and see if it is too much, then I can reduce it. So that is my waistline and the hip line. I'm going to measure it across, and I added 1 inch allowance at the hem to fold in the hem of the dress. Now this is all the vertical measurement that I need: the waistline, the hip line, and the full length. Now it's time to impute the horizontal measurement. So starting off with the waist measurement. So I'm going to go ahead and divide my waist measurement by 4. I would mark it out, then add my allowance to it. From the waistline this way, you can decide to extend the tape measure all the way to the hem of the dress like so to form an A shape, or you can go ahead and input your hip measurement and add your ease allowance and your sewing allowance. In my case, it tallies, but it might not tally in other cases depending on how wide the lower part is. But the reason why I put the hip line there is just to know how free it's going to be at the hip. But usually from your waistline, you can just put your tape measure and slant it all the way to the edge of the dress like so to get your A-line. Now I'm going to roll out what I have. So I have chalked it out, but in case you can't see it properly because the chalk is a bit faint, that's why I still use my tape measure to highlight it, but I've rolled that part. So like I mentioned earlier in test form, what I have left there is 7 inches. So to know how much fabric you are going to fold, you want to divide your hip measurement by 4, add your 2 inches allowance for sewing and for ease, then the 7 inches allowance for the A-line effect. So that is how to know how much fabric you're going to put on fold, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Forget to add ½ inch allowance at the waistline for joining this lower part to the upper bodice. So I'll go ahead and add this before finally cutting it out. This is what I have after cutting it out. Now I'll make use of this front to cut out the back. Cutting out the back is easy. You just want to place the front on another fabric on fold, then leave out your zipper allowance. The zipper allowance that I'm working with is 1.5 inch, and every other thing is the same. So I'm just going to trace it out like so. After which I will divide the back into 2 at the zipper area. Then I'm going to go ahead and reduce the front by ½ inch at the waist area that way. Just reduce by ½ inch and slant it all the way to the sides like so. So before proceeding to the upper bodice, I want to go ahead and mark out where I'm going to attach the bodice at the front. So of course we have 3 flounce attached at the front and there's one at the midpoint. So you want to notch the midpoint, locate the center and mark it like so. Now for the sides, at the upper part which is at the waistline, you want to measure out your bust span divided by 2. Remember that I folded it into 2 like so. Then you want to divide the hem into 2, or you double your bust span, but I think you should just divide whatever you have at the hem like that into 2 and connect it from the waist to that point. That way it will be slanted. If you make it a straight line like the middle would be a straight line, then it will not come out so nice. The flounce will look too choked up at the lower part. So it's better you make it slanted like this. Now that I've marked out everywhere that I'm going to place the flounce, the 3 parts, now it's time to determine the length of the flounce. So what I have there is 45.5 inches. When I remove the half inch that I'm going to use to join this to the upper part, I'm left with 45. But the length of my flounce would not be 45. You will get to understand like as we progress. But rather the length of my flounce would be 40 inches. Okay. You do not want to use the total length that you have there for your flounce. If not, the flounce will be longer than the dress itself. I have gone ahead to cut out one of the flounce that is needed out of the 3 off camera. So now I'm going to show you how I achieve this by cutting out the remaining 2 together. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 8 because I want to cut out the 2 flare together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if this is not convenient for you, you can go ahead and fold your fabric into 4 to cut out 1, fold another 4 to cut out the second flounce, then fold another 4 to cut out the third flounce. And the size that I have here is 12 inches long and 12 inches wide, and I'll show you how I arrived at that. So remember that I said the length of the flounce, the length of the place where I'm going to attach the flounce to is 40. So you'll be dividing that 40 by 6.28. This 6.28 is a constant. Okay, we are just cutting out a 360-degree flare. So 40 divided by 6.28 is 6.3. But I used the 6.3 to cut this, and at the end of the day what I had there was 45. It was in a bit of an excess. So now I'm going to make use of 6 inches, not 6.3. Okay, so that I'm going to arrive at my exact 40 inches. And the length of the flounce that I have here is 6 inches. By the time I'm done weaving and folding, I'll be left with like 5 inches thereabout, which is perfect for me. So that 6 inches that we got from the radius and 6 inches, which is the length of the flounce, the total is 12 inches. That is the reason why I folded this fabric into 12. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark out the radius. I'll be making use of a marker this time so you can see it. I can actually make use of a marker because I'm just cutting out a flare. It would not show on the outfit by the time I'm done because I'm still going to weave this part and fold it. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out my radius all around like so. Afterwards, starting from where the 6 inches radius end, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the length, which is 6.5, sorry, not 6 inches. The total that I have there is 12.5, not 12 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out 6.5 all the way like so. After which I'll go ahead and divide it into 2 and the 3 flounce is ready. Now to cut out the upper bodice, I have already drafted out my basic upper bodice. So I've already drafted this out on this channel before. The link to that tutorial on how to draft your basic bodice would be showing on your screen right now at the top or left hand corner. You would be able to see it somewhere around there. So you can just check that out. I do not want to bore us with that. That was why I drafted my bodice before starting. Now I'm using the same pattern to cut out my front and the back. So the armhole that I've cut out there is the back armhole. The other armhole that I have drawn out there is the front armhole. So when I'm done, I will use the same bodice to cut out the front. So I have my zipper allowance there. You can see that the length of the front I folded in that part because the back length is shorter than the front half length. The back half length is usually shorter than the front half length. If you want to understand better, then you have to watch my video on how to take your accurate body measurement. It's very important. The link to that too will be showing on your screen. So that is all. Then I added half inch at the lower part, and I've already added my half inch at the shoulder area on the pattern already. So the main thing I'm going to do now is just to do the back tightening by taking out half inch at the zipper area that way, connect it all the way to the chest line. Then I'll replace that half inch at the side while adding my sewing allowance. So the allowance that I'm going to add at the bust area will be 1.5, but I'll be adding 2 inches at the waist. 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance, then half inch to replace the one removed for the back tightening. Already while drafting out these bodies, I've added the dart allowance already, so I do not need to add that. The only allowance that I'm adding is the sewing allowance and the back tightening allowance, like I said earlier. So the dimension for the neck is 3.5 by 3.5. So my zipper allowance is actually 1.5. I have removed half inch at the waist area that way, and I replaced that half inch at the side for back tightening. So I have to alter this pattern in order to use it to cut the front body. So the first thing I'll be doing is to fold the bust that this way. So it is this bust that is actually going to make the two sides to match up. Again, if you check my video on how to draft the basic bodies, then you would understand. Remember that I said the front half length is always longer than the back. So to make it equal at the side, you have to take in this bust that. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and cut out the front armhole. So this is me just showing you the effect of taking in the bust that. You can see that the sides actually do match up now. Good. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my 1.5 inch sewing allowance at the sides. Then I'll add half inch at the bottom, and the half inch at the shoulder has already been added on the pattern, and I'm going to cut it out. The next thing to do now is to alter the neckline into the asymmetric neckline. So I'll be coming down by 3 inches from the shoulder that way, and I'll connect it all the way like so. Connect all the way to the center front like so, and I'm just going to cut it out. And I will do the same thing for the back. So when you're cutting the back now, be careful. You want to make sure that if you cut out the left hand side on the front, you cut out the left hand side on the back too, so it can match up. Okay, and with that, the upper bodice is ready. Now it's time to cut out the sleeve. So for this dress, we have two types of sleeve: the full shoulder puff sleeve and the off shoulder puff sleeve. So I'm starting with the full shoulder puff sleeve, and to make this, I'm not going to use the slash and spread method because I'm even working with limited fabric. So all I'm going to do is to place my basic sleeve pattern this way. If you don't know how to cut yours yet, the link to my video on how to make your basic sleeve will be showing at the top right corner of the screen, so you can do well to check it out. So I'm just going to place it this way. So the width of the fabric that I have there is just my biceps multiplied by 2.5. For example, if your biceps is 20 multiplied by 2.5, that should be 50. So when you fold 50 into 2, you should have 25 inches in width for the fold, and then the length is my sleeve length. I've factored in the elastic casing allowance at the edge and all of that. So I'm just going to trace out the armhole curve on this pattern like this, and I'm going to cut it out. It's that easy since I already have my basic sleeve pattern. So just follow through with what you can see. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out now. So the sides would be straight. I do not have to taper it since it's a puff sleeve. I'm going to notch the center that way. I'm going to gather this side on the armhole curve and put elastic at the lower part. To cut out the off shoulder puff sleeve, now remember that when we were cutting the asymmetric neckline, we came down by 3 inches at the shoulder, okay, for the off shoulder part. So I'm going to come down by 3 inches from my full shoulder puff sleeve. That is what I folded inside. So the length that I have there has been reduced by 3, but I'm not just going to cut it out directly, because this off shoulder puff sleeve is going to have an elastic at the upper part. So I'm going to add 1 inch allowance for the elastic casing. I'm going to measure that all the way. Then I'm going to trace out the armhole curve that I have there. But that armhole curve that I have there now is not going to be the final armhole curve that I'm going to use. I'm still going to alter it. So to alter it, this is what I'm going to do. At the upper part that way, I'll come in by 1 inch. And at the lower part, I'm going to come down by 1 inch also. Then I'm just going to connect it together with a broken line. So this is the new armhole that I'm going to cut out. So I'm just going to measure what I have there and see if it tallies with my armhole curve to know if it is going to fit. Or you can just place the outfit on it this way and measure it. Make sure that it's going to fit in. Remember to come down by 1 inch, because that 1 inch you are still going to fold it for the elastic casing. So all I have to do now is to cut it out, and the two sleeve is ready. Now it's time to move over to the sewing machine to couple everything together. The first thing I'll be doing is to turn the neckline with my bias. I'm not using a facing for this particular project, so I'm going to turn the neckline with bias like so. After which I've gone ahead to notch the where my dart would be, which is 4 inches away from the center. By the time I'm done taking the dart, it will be 3.5 inches away from the center at both sides, and the total of that is 7 inches, which is my bust span. So I'm going to go ahead and take the dart like so, and this is what I have. After which I'm going to attach the lower part to the upper part at the waistline like so. I'm just going to join the two together using 1/2 inch. So here's the chalk line that I marked on the cutting table. It's more visible here. So this is where I'm going to attach the flounce. Here's the flounce. I went ahead to weave it. That's the part that I'm going to be attaching to the gown. The side I hemmed it using 1/2 inch, and the lower part too I hemmed it using 1/2 inch. Now it's time to fix the flounce. Starting off with the center, I'm just going to place the flounce this way and sew it with 1/4 inch, starting from the waistline all the way to the hem. So this is why I did not allow my flounce to get all the way to the hem. By the time I'm done folding the hem now, the flounce is going to touch the hem directly. Now imagine if the flounce has gotten all the way to the hemline, you will see that it's going to extend below the hem. It is not bad, but I do not like it. So that is why my flounce, I did not sew it all the way to the hem. Now using the same process, I'm attaching the second flounce. So you can see that the flounce at the left is facing the left hand side, and the flounce at the right is facing the right hand side, but the one in the middle can face either right or left. This is what we have so far. The front is ready. Now this is the back. I've gone ahead to turn the neckline using bias like I did for the front. I took in the dart like I did for the front. I attached the lower part at the waistline like I did for the front. Then went ahead to fix my zipper. So it's basically the same process. That's why I'm not boring you with the sewing process. The only difference is that the back has a zipper and the front does not. Then I'm not attaching any flounce to the back like I did for the front. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to place the back on the front this way and join it together at the shoulder using 1/2 inch like so. After which I'll go ahead and hem the lower part by folding it using 1 inch. I'll fold in 1/2 inch, then fold in another 1/2 inch, totaling 1 inch. After which I will join the front and the back together at the sides. I'll input the bust measurement, the waist measurement, and just join it together at the sides like so. So if you are working with a stretchy fabric and you notice that when you are joining it at the side, one side tends to be longer than the other side, do not panic. You just want to join it all the way to like an halfway, then you start the joining from the lower part again and meet together at the center. That way one part will not be longer than the other. And this is what we have so far. Now it's time to fix the sleeve. And before fixing the sleeve, I would create the elastic casing at the lower part for the full shoulder puff sleeve, then the lower part and the upper part for the off shoulder puff sleeve. After which I'll go ahead and pass in the elastic at all the necessary places. Now that the elastic has been passed, the next thing I'm going to do is to run a gather stitch at the full shoulder puff sleeve at the upper part that way. Then I'm going to join the sleeve together at the sides using a French seam finish. So this is the full shoulder puff sleeve. I'm gonna head to attach it. Now I'll go ahead and attach the off shoulder puff sleeve like so. And voila, the dress is ready. You can see how beautiful it turned out to be. And that will be all for today. Now, did you gain value? Did you learn something new? Did you enjoy the tutorial? If the answer to all of this is yes, then kindly let me know in the comment below. Hit the like button also. Share, okay, you don't want to enjoy all of this alone. And subscribe if you are yet to. You can also follow me on other social media platforms. It's Easy Sewing with Tyke. Till I see you in my next tutorial. Bye.